Can we do a little sound check? Can we hear you okay, Art?
Can you hear me?
Yes. All right. We're ready to go.
So we've been watching I don't know if you guys have watched it, but there's a Casey Anthony documentary on Peacock. I don't know if anybody knows what this story is, but this young lady was accused of killing her kid in about 2008, I believe, and she ended up getting acquitted, and basically for this whole time since then, everyone in America kind of believed that this girl killed her daughter and put her in the back of her car and taped her up and put her in a garbage bag and disposed of her, and she's been villainized, and this girl comes out now in 2022 and she tells her side of the story for the first time, and it's quite a ride if you haven't watched this yet. And the reason it's a ride is because when you're watching these kind of things, and if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to watch it with someone, because when you do, you start talking over about, it changes every 5 minutes. She's guilty. She's not guilty. She's guilty. She's not guilty. She's a bad person. She's a good person. She's a bad mom. She's a good mom. And you kind of just live in this, you need to know, like, did she do it? Didn't she do it? The father's bad. And it's like this place of judgment that you're living in. And you just kind of got to be in there. And you find yourself really on one side or the other all the time, but then you flip-flop. And you just go back and forth. And it takes you on this ride until you come to your own conclusion of whether this girl did it or not. But, back in 2008, they show footage of her in the courtroom and the visceral hatred outside. Just Americans that took time out of their own life to go outside of this girl's misery and this family's misery and just yell at the courtroom and put signs up that she's a baby killer. Nico, please put signs up that she's a baby killer, and yell and scream and want her dead, and the vengeance that they wanted and the hatred that came out of their mouths, and to watch it all and watch everyone turn on this girl and watch how excited and gross everyone was at this trial. And you see, when it seems to me, when people don't have much of a life of their own, they will pile onto your life when there's misery. That's just what they have to do. Or when there's success, that's what they have to do. They can pile onto your life. I always said, boy, don't keep people around you that don't have much of a life, because when yours falls apart, they'll want to fuck with it. And it's not pretty when they want to start messing with your life when yours falls apart. So anyways, that's a long way of going to tell you that I want to tell you why that is. These people running down to this court and not even understanding as a human being why they do that. What would cause a human being to see somebody else that possibly had killed their baby, but then you leave your house or don't go to work that day and drive down with the hate in your heart and yell outside of a courtroom? And what causes that in a human being? And what causes it is a deep fear, deep insecurity, just insecure humans that don't know any of the story, that are just running down because of their own insecurity, because of the way they feel inside. They want to go let out some pain at this place. And they're venting out their pain with the information that they don't even know. There's partial story or whatever they're doing. And you watch them go do that, and it's disgusting. And people jump on with this mob mentality, and they don't know anything about what they're talking about. And you'll find yourself, when you watch the documentary, being on both sides of the mob and jumping on too. And you'll find your own insecurities kind of show up, and it teaches you a little bit about yourself. So that's a long way of telling you that I want to tell you, most people, when they're drug addicts, they say, I want to tell you my story. My story didn't start because I got sober. That's ridiculous. Like, I quit doing drugs. That's not much of a story. I used to do a lot of drugs, and then I quit. My story started when I started understanding something about myself. And the first thing I understood about myself was that I lived at a dis-ease, that inside my body was dis-ease. I also lived most of my life upset. So I lived upset. I was upset. I was upset about a lot of things. I was upset about, my place in the world. I was was always at some kind of boredom, some kind of disgruntledness, some kind of dissatisfaction, some kind of disease, and it was inside of my body, and I always wanted it taken away. I always wanted it to be different than it was. So I figured out I was the diseased human being, and I was an upset human being. That's who I was. And I also came to the conclusion as that went on that I didn't want to be that way. You know, a lot of people, they like being upset. Maybe you still like it. You know, I'm upset. You tell everybody you're upset. I'm upset right now, and I'm upset. And people really get a joy out of being upset. They get a joy out of saying they're upset. They get a joy out of being in an unease state. They're just used to it. You know, I ran this big program called The Big House, and it had like 40 drug addicts living in it. And what happened to me, and this is why I'll tell you it's a story, and it's very true, and I don't tell you it because any other reason, but it's very true that when those drug addicts moved into that house and I was set and staged to manage it and to run it, I was more upset. I was more diseased. I was pissed all the time. When you have 40 people not behaving the way you want them to behave, hatred will come into your heart. Anger will come into you. Upset, disease will always be there. And what you'll do to try to control it is you'll yell at people. You'll try to, forcefully handle people. You'll try to, get every bit of pain out of yourself and dump it onto there. And I've started realizing, one, I just don't want to be in this pain. It don't feel good to go yell at people anymore. It don't feel good to be in this state. I just don't want to be in this state anymore. And I was in the state a lot, state of upset, the state of disease. And I just lived that way. My body hurt, my bones ached, my muscles were tight, my cortisol was running, I was just pissed all the time. Anger, hatred, anger, hatred. This person doesn't behave like I want them to behave. I need to actually go yell at them and make them and push them to behave the way I want them to behave. And I got to a point where it was like, you know what? I can't live this way anymore. So when you come to the conclusion that you don't want to be at a disease and you don't want to be upset and you cannot use drugs to solve it, you can't use anything external to solve it, you'll find yourself in a position where you have to take responsibility for it. So you'll come to a position where you go, one, I don't want to be at a disease. I don't want to be upset. And so now I'm sitting there and I don't want to be that way. Truly. I don't know if you've ever really taken a look and got upset with a human being and then decided that you just don't want to be upset. I will tell you, it takes a big sample size. What I mean by that is you go along, you get upset at this person, you think it's their fault, and you get upset at this person, you think it's their fault. You get upset at this person, you think it's their fault, and you don't understand it. You just don't know why you blame them for being upset. But when you're upset all day, every day, and you got to do something about it, you're going to learn. So I'll tell you what I did, and I'll tell you how it works, because I was upset. Well, the next thing that I figured out, and I learned through books and studying and everything, was that if I was upset, I was insecure. Now I know, and when I say to you, you're sitting there and you're looking upset or you're upset, I know you do not believe me. And everyone will say, oh yeah, I get it, Art. When I'm upset and when I'm angry, it's because I'm fearful. You don't believe me. You do not, because your whole life when you're upset, you're fearful, you're angry with someone else and you're blaming them. And you don't believe me. And I'm telling you, when you do it all day, every day, you'll get to the point of belief. And when you do, and you decide truly that the only reason you're ever upset on this planet, the only reason, and there is one, you're insecure. That is it. You're an insecure human being, and you no longer can blame. And you decide to yourself, hey, I'm upset and I don't want to be. Well, now I got to do something about it. I'll tell you, folks, for years, folks have been trying to prove that I'm bad, or people try to prove I'm bad, or people try to prove I'm good. I spent my life trying to prove that I'm good to people, every one of us, trying to be liked or disliked. I see this. So the way it works is this. Another person comes by and hits your insecurities and you say you don't like them. And then a person comes and says and does everything you want them to do, so you say you like them. and you think you're real smart, and you think you're in a place that you go, oh, I like that person. What gives you the right to like someone? Absolutely, what gives you the right? Who the fuck are you? Who are you to sit and say you like somebody? Just the same, who are you to sit and say you hate someone? What gives you that right? What gives you the right to say you hate me? And what gives you the right to say you like me? And when did you come up with it? When you decided that you, because you feel good at times for temporarily, you go, oh, I like that person. And then because you feel bad inside and you're upset and diseased, you say, I hate that person. What gives you the right to do either? Who do you think you are? Who do we think we are? And who do we think we are to hate? And who do we think we are to like? Where did we come up with this? What we're saying when we say hate or like is there was a very limited little version of you that I saw that I didn't like, and I've judged you now forever. And then I like you because I saw a little version of you that you did what I wanted you to do, and now I like you. And I saw a little version of you do something I don't like, and now I say hate. I know you lived for 80 years, but I've decided I don't like you because I saw you do that. And it sparked something inside of me, and now I'm this glorious person that gets to decide. But the reality is hate and like are both coming from a place of insecurity. So the reality is hate and like show us our walls. Hate and like show us our insecurities. When I hate somebody, I'm insecure. Also, when I like somebody, I'm insecure. Gets me to a point where I've decided these are my walls. These are my parameters. You stay here. If you hit over here and you behave this way, I hate you. And if you come over here and you behave like I like you and you keep me secure and you keep me safe, then I love you and then I like you. And that's what we're saying. We're giving everyone that power. We're saying you, and then we give ourselves the power of judgment to sit there and tell other people about themselves and whether they're good or bad. And we deem people good or bad. And the reality is through our insecurities, the reality is we've lived our entire life not trying to continue relationships, not trying to extend them, not trying to keep them going. From the start of every relationship, I would argue from the start of every relationship that you all get in, you're trying to end it. Every single relationship that you get in, unless you're in a practice, you're probably trying to figure out how to end it. You're collecting bad behavior. You're looking at the person and you're trying to see if they hit your insecurities. And if they hit your insecurities enough, you're going to determine that they're bad. You're going to determine that you hate them and you're going to get away from them. And if they just do what you like all the time, look at Democrats and Republicans hating each other. What a bunch of jokers. So insecure, judging another person by a few opinions and beliefs and saying, look, I hate you because you don't believe you're just insecure. You're not secure about your ideas. You're not secure about anything. This idea that you want to hate, that absolutely, see, for my life, hatred was this thing that I wanted to get rid of. It was killing me. I think hatred is things that people use to make themselves sound cool. Something you say, I hate that person, and that sounds cool nowadays to people. Can you imagine the amount of information that it would take to hate? Can you imagine how much information you would have to do and study a person to actually find somebody that you could hate? If you studied them so deeply and you saw they were so flawed that you finally got to a conclusion that you could hate someone? Huh?
What if, like, someone, for instance, someone killed your brother?
Okay, let me get there. Well, we don't want to go to the... Here's the thing. You want to be upset with people or not? Do you want to end relationships or do you want to continue them? See, I don't want to be liked by you, and I don't want to be hated by you because that means you're a very fragile person. The truth. What I want from you is I want to be accepted. And I don't hate and like anyone in this room. I accept them. I accept you for who you are. I accept you for who you are. I accept you for who you are. What we should be trying to get to with human beings is acceptance. I accept that person for who they are. The whole thing. Sometimes they do something I don't like. Sometimes they do things I like. But for the whole thing, I accept this person. I get to a place with human beings where I don't hate you or like you. I accept you. I know who you are. I see who you are. I see your soul, your spirit, and I accept. I accept you when you do things bad. It doesn't cause me an insecurity and doesn't cause me to hate you. I see when you do things good. It doesn't cause me now to like you. It just causes me to say, oh, I liked you before. I like you still. I'm never going to get to a place where people, yeah, you can talk about extremes, murders, and you can talk about that stuff. But that's a lot of information to gather once you've gathered that somebody's committed murder. But we have people in this room that hate each other. For what? For what? People in this room that throw around that word so easy. We all throw around the word. I hate. I hate. Imagine saying that word about a human being. I get you're upset and I get you still want to use it. And I think you think yourself is cool to be upset. It's so cool. Hold on. It's so cool I'm so upset with this person. I'm so offended and I'm so righteous. Yeah, I know. It's because you're insecure. And when you start looking at hatred as an insecurity, and you start looking at upsets as an insecurity, and you start not wanting to be that way, you can now sit and take responsibility for it. You can sit with it and you can go, I'm upset because I'm insecure. And there's something to work on here. I've now seen my parameters. Why is that person's behavior something I'm not accepting? That's who they are. Why can't I accept it? What's wrong with me? Why did these people get out of their houses, go down and spend their days in fear, wanting a conclusion, wanting vengeance for a girl who possibly didn't even do it, just trying to kill her and hate her? What's going on? So you get to a place where you come to some type of thing with yourself where you decide, God, I'm an insecure human being. When I hate, I'm insecure. I'm just this fragile thing that's looking out at the behavior of other people and going, oh God, I hate that. I hate them. I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. I'm shaky. They're doing that. You're doing that. Oh, you took something from me? Okay. I've took things from people. I've done that. Do I deserve to be hated over it? I've made mistakes. Do I deserve to be hated? And I've done good things. I don't want you to like me because I do good things. I want you to accept me. I want you to accept me, and I want you to be there when I do bad things and be there when I do good things. And I'll accept you. And I won't be flip-flopping. One day I like them. One day I hate them. You ever meet somebody and determine within the day whether you like them or not? You're an idiot. You're truly a fucking idiot. To meet someone in one day and say you like them makes you fucking stupid. That's all it does. To meet somebody in one day and say you dislike them also makes you fucking stupid. You're an idiot. You have none of the information about this human being. No way to make a determination. And you get to determine on your high horse whether you like somebody or dislike them based upon 5 minutes of behavior. Based upon something they did or said that you live. That's because you're determining whether you like somebody by how you feel. You're letting other people behave, and when they behave, it makes you feel a certain way, and you really don't like how you feel, and then you blame them. Now that's hard. And people will go, well, what about assholes? What about... Do you want hatred in your heart? Or do you want to accept people? Do you want to be frustrated and upset? People always come into AA and NA, they come everywhere, they go, yes, I'm restless, irritable, and discontent. How'd you stop being that? What did restlessness, irritable, and discontent come from? It came from your insecurities. So please explain to me how you got rid of your insecurities. Or if you didn't, then you're still restless, irritable, and discontent, and you're probably on the way to relapse. Because there's only one way to deal with your insecurities. Know when you're in them. Know. And the way to know when you're in them is when you're hating. The way to know when you're in them is when you're frustrated. The way to know that you're insecure is when you're upset. But see, that's a very difficult time to take responsibility for yourself. Because when you're upset, you want to blame. When you're angry, you want to blame. When you're hating, you want to blame. And you want to blame people for how you feel. And so it's tough because people don't see it. People don't see the truth about why they're upset. It's so hard. You look and you go, no, I'm upset because that guy's being an asshole. Yeah, but what if everyone was? Then you just have to live upset forever? Restless, irritable, and discontent. Absolutely. Am I now? No. There's my story. Because I was an insecure human being, and now I'm not. I didn't accept people. I judged them. I determined from my high horse within a limited module of their behavior whether they were good or bad. And I deemed them good if they made me feel good. And I deemed them bad if they didn't make me feel good. I deemed them good if they said and did everything that I liked. And if they disagreed with me, bad. Because it made me feel a certain way when people disagreed with me. It made me feel inferior. It made me feel little. It made me feel so insecure. So those are all bad people. Democrats, liberals, they're all bad. Really? That's not true. None of this is true. All those people running down to see this girl get strung up for murder and killed wasn't true. Wasn't even true. You just didn't have any information. So we shouldn't be trying to, when you get to a point where you say that you like somebody, please understand you're an asshole. Because the next day you might dislike them. You know, they say a thin line between love and hate. Absolutely. How many of you have been in a relationship where you told somebody you love them? I mean, raise your hand if you told somebody you love them. How many of you hate that person now? Yeah, keep your hand up. I know. I thought you loved them. No, it was coming from a place of insecurity. You said you loved them because they made you feel better about yourself. And when they stopped making you feel good about yourself, you now hate them. But it was always you. So we give it here. I'm giving you it. I'm telling you. You get upset. Why am I insecure right now? I don't want to feel this way. Oh, they're threatening my reputation. Okay. I'm just scared. Okay. Let me work this out. This person's scaring me. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to talk to him. Okay. There's hatred. I don't want that. Why am I hating? Oh, they have an opposite view of me. They weren't too nice to me right there. You know what it's like to have a group of people trying to make sure deem you bad or good? What gives us that right? What gives us the right to say that we like somebody, we hate somebody? Time? How many people that you've been friends with for 10 years do you hate? Not many. How many people that you've been friends with for a week do you hate? Yeah, a lot. And I'll tell you, and this is true, you need to watch out in your relationships. Are you trying to accept people and continue the relationship? Or are you trying to figure out why they're wrong and get rid of the relationship? With me, kid that just walked out of here. He's here to figure out why we're all wrong. Get out of here. Because he's insecure and he's scared. He doesn't like the way he feels. Yeah.
Just curious because the way you stated that it's almost like you need to have a relationship with everyone, and I just I guess I'm confused because
You have to no.
I don't have
Can you repeat her question, Art?
Okay, she said, I'm confused because it means that, are you saying it means that you need to have a relationship with everyone and that you should have a relationship with anyone? No, I said you shouldn't hate and you shouldn't have anger.
Okay.
You shouldn't be upset. You shouldn't be restless, irritable, and discontent. Now you need to get other people out of this equation. You need to ask yourself in this room right now, are you restless, irritable, and discontent? Do you have hatred in your heart? Are you upset? Are you trying to look at people and determine how they make you feel and then determining whether they're good or bad people based upon how they make you feel? Do you have any information? And so I had a lot of quick judgments. My first 3 years of recovery, before I understood that I was insecure, oh boy, it was quick. I hate, I hate, I hate, I like, I like, I like, I hate, I like that guy, I hate that guy, I like that guy, I hate that guy, like that guy, hate that guy. Oh, let me get in the relationship with this person. No, he did something wrong. Never again. I'm done with that relationship. I had tons of relationships that ended in months and weeks. Now, everyone that comes in my life, I don't want the relationship to end. That's 100%. I do not want the relationship to end. In order to do that, I have to accept the person. I have to accept the person for who they are. Yeah.
So if you don't, I'm just trying to.
Well, first, before you go on this argument, not argument, before you go down this road, and I'll ask anyone that's gone down the road, have you as a human being attributed every time you're upset to your insecurities yet? Have you as a human being ever hated someone and determined that it was you? Have you, truly determined that it was you and truly believed that it was your insecurity that caused the hatred? And if you haven't been there yet. You haven't practiced it yet. Yeah.
I know that I have. So
Okay.
back to my question is, for instance, like I don't have hate towards like this person in general, but I didn't want the relationship to continue. Like it was platonic, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? It was like headed towards not being that way. What I'm trying to ask is like, that doesn't mean that, I don't feel like it means, I don't know, I almost feel like
trying to
insinuating that like,
I want people to understand that this is for yourself. There's no questions asked. There doesn't need to be any questions asked. This is a practice. This is, I sit with myself when I'm insecure. This is, and I didn't know that this was going to be the results. I didn't know that the results of sitting with my insecurities would result in anything. I had just read that it might be true. And when I read that it might be true that I was insecure, I was still baffled because I truly still believed that when I was upset, it was because other people were behaving poorly. And that was the only cause of my upsets. So I believed that. But over time, there became to be too many. And I looked around and found too many people that weren't upset by the same things that I was upset by. And so it started becoming very fishy. And I came to some type of conclusion that I don't want to be upset anymore. See, the problem is most people still love being upset. In fact, they love it so much, they talk about it to their friends. It's the first thing that they say when they call. It's the first thing they tell their husband when they get home from work. It's the first thing they tell their coworkers about their boss. It's the first thing they want to do is be upset. They can't wait to be upset. They can't wait to be offended. They can't wait to hate. They can't wait to prove that another person is bad. They can't wait to prove that another person is evil. They can't wait to judge. They can't wait. And so they don't go to things hoping that it turns out good. They go to things and they sit with the things. And if anything makes their body fluctuate in any way and make them feel a certain way, they hate that and they stop going. And so for me, I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to be able to be free. And you get to a point where you decide that you want to accept humans, not just these humans or these humans. I want to accept the humans on TV. I want to be able to watch a liberal debate without losing my shit inside the house. I want to be able to turn on Fox and MSNBC, both. I want to be able to speak to a human being that cares deeply about issues that I don't. I want, and maybe I don't want to speak with them that much, but I don't want to be in anger over it. And I don't want to hate. And when you get to that point, you have to sit with your pain of your insecurities. You have to sit there and go, this is happening again. I'm upset. My brain wants to go, that guy. That's why. That guy. That's why. I'm mad because that guy said that. And it's so difficult to sit there and reverse your brain and go, no, 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 it's you. You're so fearful and tight and insecure and shaky that what he said has bothered you and set you off. Yeah.
I guess I'm still just, I don't know what the confusion is in my mind, and I don't know how to like articulate what I'm trying to say, but you mentioned something to the extent of like every relationship we welcome.
Well, for me, it's that way. Why would you want to end a relationship?
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
Because
Okay, answer the question though. Why would you want to end a relationship with a person?
For my example that I was thinking of in particular is this gentleman that I just saw that there was just so many differences, and I didn't think that they were capable of growth they needed to do. And
Well, what deemed you the person that gets to tell them they need to grow?
Because it was like not a friend. It was like, okay, well, are we gonna be friends or are we gonna be more? And I didn't want to take it further.
So when you found the areas that they needed to grow, when they were behaving in those areas that they needed to grow, how did it make you feel?
It didn't actually bother me. I brought it to their attention.
If it doesn't bother you, then why would you want them to change?
If it doesn't bother me, why would I want them to change?
See, we only want.
I don't feel anger.
Okay, well, it doesn't have to be as deep as anger. It has to be anything. It has to understand that, okay, if you want this practice that I'm talking about tonight, and it might not be, I'm not trying to convince you. I told you I'm telling my story. I would love to convince you. I would love to convince you of how I went from an insecure, angry human being that did not accept other people and told everybody they were wrong, and got to a place where I could do this work and accept human beings, who they are. I'm just telling you how I did it. And how I did it was I had to take responsibility for every time I was upset. And I had to sit there with it. And then I had to ask myself, what do I want that person? You know, when we're coming from a place and we want someone to change, like because they upset us, nobody buys that shit. You see?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't necessarily want him to change, but I didn't want to continue it.
Okay.
So
why don't you want to, again, it doesn't mean, and we're not talking about a boyfriend, girlfriend thing here either. I'm talking about friendships, co-workers.
Make a difference, or?
Well, sure, it makes a difference, because with a boyfriend and girlfriend, you have intimacy and you have sex and you have so many different things. And yeah, but this works for all flavors when you're able to take responsibility. But you're sitting at a point, if somebody doesn't upset you, they don't bother you, they never frustrate you, they don't annoy you, well, why would you want them to change? You wouldn't. Okay, there's the trick. So then if they do frustrate you, if they do annoy you, and if they do bother you, should they change?
No, you should change.
There you go. So how do you change? So you can't end the relationship. So now you can't end the relationship, because if you end the relationship, if you're ending the relationship, now you can't grow. I know. See, I think the reason that I understand this so deeply is because I had a lot of relationships where people pissed me off all at once. A lot. And it was intense.
Well, it's like the ultimate form of non-acceptance is to end the relationship.
Yeah, that's got to go because I'm superior.
Yeah,
I don't think he's saying you have to be in a relationship like
No, this is talking about getting rid of your insecurities.
accept them for who they are and be their friend, or be their not be their friend.
Listen, you go to any AA meeting, any NA meeting, any recovery meeting, they'll say the term restless, irritable, discontent. Raise your hand sometime and ask somebody, how'd you get rid of it? I don't know if they'll know the answer. I'm telling you the truth. When I'm restless, irritable, and discontent, I have to sit with it, and I have to take responsibility for it. And the reason that I'm restless, irritable, and discontent is because I am massively shaky and insecure. And every time somebody bothers me and scares me, there's cortisol and there's adrenaline going through my body, and I don't like it. And my body is so used to fight or flight with human beings that I sit in a room and it puts me into fight or flight just sitting in a room with normal people. And so I'm so scared and shaky all the time and so insecure that I deem that I don't like everyone in that room. And that's how deeply insecure I am. You see, if I walk into a different environment, one that's not this one, I'm going to be faced with this thing. We have a young man here that's in the Navy. Now I walk onto his Navy ship, 300 Navy men or whatever it is. My insecurities are going to be up high. I'm going to be shaky, insecure. That's going to be putting your practice into another place. So it's going to be the same all over again. That's how you expand. So you get comfortable in your life with the people in it. You will never find your insecurities. Once you get comfortable, you can never grow. Because now you've gotten all these people in your life that you're comfortable with. They know what to say, not to touch your insecurities. They know what not to say. They know how to not push your buttons, and you've put up all your defenses. Hey, we've talked about that. Don't behave like that around me. And everyone knows how to behave. Now put yourself into a different environment where people don't know how to behave around you. You'll come home, you'll be in that environment, and that's what people do. Them and their husband and wife, they go to the new environment. They sit in their insecurities, then they get back in the car and they sit in judgment. I don't like that person. I do like that person. This person was stupid. Did you see what that person said? And they talk shit when they leave because it just hit all their insecurities and they won't take responsibility for it. So the people go and they go in that new environment without to dinner with new friends. Can you believe he said that? Can you believe he did that? That's how it goes. Because we take our insecurities and rather than deal with them, we go talk shit about people behind their back because we don't accept them and we need to vent out how we feel. So that's how shit talking is. You go into you and your husband and you and your wife go out with 10 new couples. Try to not talk shit after you're done. Just give it a shot. Good luck. Good luck. 2 couples driving home. I accept all of them. You will not. You will not. But if you learn that that's the breeding ground for more growth, I go there. Me in a room with 10 liberals telling me that we need to bring them clean needles. Oh, shit. I lose my shit. Anger, hatred. They're all back again. Now I can grow. You can't grow without these things, though. See? You can't push it away. You got to have the hatred to grow. You got to have the anger to grow. But if you never, ever attribute your hatred and your anger to you, then you just become smaller and smaller as a human being, and you isolate more and more, and your ability to go around people becomes less, and you drink more, and you end up in your bedroom, shaky. So you open up and you say, I accept humans. I don't know the whole story about them. I can't. We sit in judgment from an insecure place. If we were in judgment, that's our body telling us that we're insecure. That's saying I need to be on high alert because my little delicate body could be hurt by words. I got to take my little delicate self and make sure that I judge people. And the ones I deem to be bad and I don't like, they need to get away from me because they didn't make me feel right tonight. I'm a little kid. Kids are less insecure than us. Throw a 5-year-old into a room with our enemy. They'll run around hugging. Yeah. They're like, what's up? And you know that kid don't have nothing to look out for. You know he's okay. But you put you in that room. Oh, shit. They're going to say words I don't like. They're going to disagree with me. Can't be in here. Hatred. Do you want it? Think of yourself when you say I hate somebody. Just picture yourself saying it. Gross. I picture myself saying that and just go, oh, God, I'm gross.
I almost feel like there's two, or is there a hatred aspect, or angle, but I feel like there's another angle that you can walk in with the same insecurities, same ideas, just like, but it's like wanting to please people.
Now that's a good point, because that's what happens, because we want to be liked. So we want to be liked. So we go in a room and instead of wanting to be accepted, we want to be liked. When we want to be accepted, we can just go in and be truthful, and then acceptance keeps coming. Like when we end up being accepted by telling the truth, and finally the truth wins out and we're accepted as a human being. But when somebody comes in insecure and they're trying to be liked, the room doesn't like them. And when they're coming insecure and they're coming from hatred, the room doesn't like them. Either one. And so there's this beautiful, beautiful way to grow in life. And that's my story, is that I'm no longer restless, irritable, and discontent. And I do know factually and like practically how I got rid of it and what I did. Because I remember the times sitting with my insecurities going, not this one. This can't be true. This guy's really the asshole. It can't be me this time. This time, it's him. Please, somebody get on board with me and demonize this person. Somebody agree with me that he's a piece of shit so I can be okay. I've been there. And you look at somebody you trust and they go, he's not. And then you're more mad at him. And then you go, they got me again. I guess I'm just insecure. Now I got to sit with it. And now I'll grow. And it happens over and over and over. When we're insecure, when we're restless, when we're irritable, we quick to blame. And that's the time you can't blame. You got to be there with it. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm interested. I also feel like there's a part too where I feel like there's growth in like real life, because I feel like I'm the opposite of you in the sense that you're the way you think and grew up like as a child with thinking and stuff. So like I feel like there's also a point where of growth where like you start to recognize someone is unhealthy and you can actually take a stand for yourself. Okay, well then let me ask you this. Do you think everyone I hang around is unhealthy? No. Do you think I hang around a lot of unhealthy people? Maybe. I think so. I think that to do this job, you gotta, but yet nobody's unhealthy. No, absolutely. I think everyone's unhealthy. No, I know, but what I'm trying to tell you is that, wow, imagine if I had the righteousness to deem someone here unhealthy while deeming myself healthy enough that I need to stay away from that person. No, like I mean, like, okay, for instance, I have if I'm healthy, I can be around unhealthy people. Right, but no problem. Let me elaborate. Okay. I have a boss that, in my opinion, is my humble opinion is suppressed from being in a very tight, organized religion that doesn't let me do anything, and he doesn't know how to communicate with his words. Instead, he just uses fluster of body language to show his anger, and he projects it around everybody, and especially onto people that he actually cares about the most. So I've been the subject of this, let's just say, okay? And I knew at the time, I didn't realize it until a few seconds later. I'm like, oh shit, that was for him. He's super pissed. Yeah. But anyway, but I stood up for myself and having, like, hey, please do not, snap or whatever. I deserve respect. I've done nothing to, Okay, the question I have is, right before you stood up for yourself, how did you feel? Very hurt. Yeah, do you want to feel that way? No. Okay, then you have to do the practice that I'm saying. So there's no way to not be hurt. You felt very hurt. Now the question I have for you is, what way can you prevent that in your life going forward? Well, I feel like I have from that kind of gained some.
See, I say at the moment you felt hurt, you had two roads to go down. And the first road was to go down was to say, I am hurt right now because I'm feeling insecure. And take
Yeah,
true,
that's
no.
She's-
Okay, but no, just why would you say it to him?
Because I'm an honest person. I said to him, well,
This is, listen, you're right at the place where, and please, anyone here, I know what she's saying, and you all might know what she's saying. And speak up if you believe what she's saying, and because a lot of you feel this way, but you don't talk about it. But here's the deal, because there is a growth point there that she's missing, and I need to talk about this with everyone else.
Sure, I'm not missing it. Let me tell you what I just said. Okay, I said to him, I was crying.
Yeah.
I go, it's still kind of makes me emotional.
Yeah.
Sorry, my first I forget. I just
Yeah.
fucking said that. Okay, sorry.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you're doing this practice, there would be no reason to speak to the gentleman. And there would be only reason to stay around him. There would be no reason to get away from him and no reason to speak to him about how you feel. Because this is an internal thing that you have to learn to sit with. And if you truly believed in what I'm saying, that you're upset because you're insecure, then what are you insecure about? No. What then you did the investigation, you determined that you were insecure. How? What did he threaten?
He threatened a lot of different things. I mean,
What does he threaten?
My character, my reputation, I guess, would be what it comes down to. Okay,
that's right. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. But I don't feel like you believe it. I feel like you. No. In what way did he threaten your reputation that made you that's truly what it is? See, you'd be kind of saying it like this. Like when I said, what did he threaten? You go, he threatened a lot of things. And instead of going, well, it was my reputation that was threatened. Yeah, I felt that. Yeah. I know. But maybe nobody's saying perfect. Nobody's saying perfect. I'm saying I'm trying to determine at the point where, and has to be quicker than people are missing, at the point where we're getting upset, the point where we feel it in our bodies. And I've been trying to teach this to people for years, and I'm telling you, it's another effort I'm going to make tonight, but I doubt that people are going to jump on board, because I don't know if you know what it sits like to be upset at the moment you're upset, to really feel it in your entire body, not in your mind, and to feel that sitting there, and to understand and feel your body growing through pain, and to sit there and actually take responsibility without allowing your mind to go, why is he doing that? How come he's behaving that way? He shouldn't be behaving that way. Why is he behaving that way? None of that coming in your head. Just all that's sitting there is your pain, and you're going, he's behaving that way, and I'm upset because I'm insecure. Whew. And it's a lot. And there's no dump. There's no voice. There's nothing to get it out. There's no way to let it out. You can't talk to nobody. You can't vent it. You got to sit there with it, or you can't grow.
It's not quite true, but yeah, I do feel like I've had a moment like that, but that's not everyday thing.
Well,
for sure. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and that makes sense. Thank you for explaining it better, because I'm also curious too, though, like how do you, if you don't say anything, like how like do you avoid
that happening again?
Yeah,
you don't. You don't, because you've truly taken responsibility for it. That's the reason you don't say anything.
But how do you make it?
You have to say everything. If you're not doing this practice, you have to tell the person the way they're behaving, because you're still blaming.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, if someone's not, how do you communicate?
You don't. You grow. You grow. You don't have to protect yourself no more. I mean, you're still protecting. You're still saying, yeah, I don't want to feel that way again. See, the trick here is that it's okay that I feel that way. I can push forward. I'm always going to accept you, You can do whatever you want to me. You can say whatever you want, and I might get upset, but it will last very quick, and we're moving on. But the reality is, when you're in this practice, you're looking for these opportunities. See, restless, irritable, and discontent, how'd you get rid of it? Well, I didn't. Then what? Then how are you going to stay sober? What are you going to do? Well, I was insecure. I was always fearful. Well, what did you do to fix that? Well, I'm not scared anymore. I'm not fearful. Yes, you are. You've just set up your life in a way that you only hang out with the people that don't bother you. That's very convenient for you. You determined you like someone, and then you go, come on, let's hang out. You say all the shit I like, and you like the music I like, and come on, dude, let's hang out. And then you find people you don't like, and you go, they're bad, and you deem them bad, and you judge them, and then you keep them away from you. That doesn't mean that you've got rid of restlessness, irritable, discontent, or any insecurity. Don't mean shit. Go to work. Go to work and like all 100 coworkers. Let's see you do that. Let's see you accept all those people for who they are. Let's see you not go outside and talk shit at the smoking square afterwards. Let's see you walk. It's not about that. I don't care if people are perfect or not. I'm sitting here telling you, do you want to grow or not? And yes, there's times that you talk shit. Yes, there's times you go do that. Yes, there's people you don't like. I'm not a saint. I'm saying there's a practice here to get better. And no one can convince me they're doing it because I've done it. And when you lie to me and tell me you're doing it, I already know you didn't do it. I already know you haven't done it. I already know people that are truly blaming compared to somebody who's taking responsibility for feeling the way they feel. I know human beings that say, I feel like I feel because of me. I don't like you or dislike you. I accept you, and there's nothing you're going to do tonight to delight my experience. And I'm going to go home and go, I like them so much. They were so good. They made me feel so good tonight. And there's no one I'm going to go home and go, I hate because you didn't make me feel good tonight. I'm going to be who I am in my experience when I leave here. That's it. Now, if you do something crazy, I'm going to go, oh, wow, we need to work on that. Can't have people doing just outlandish, crazy shit. Can't have murderers running around or anything like that. But the question is, am I going to go home with hatred and anger in my heart? I'm going to go home and watch TV, not think about it. Am I going to be at peace? Am I going to be in acceptance? And even working with people, if you want people to change, you better accept them. They can't make you feel a certain way. If I had to come here and watch out for everyone, don't say that, don't do that, don't be like that, don't do drugs, don't make it, and get upset if they didn't do what I wanted. Burn up, blow up, go get high again. I would call Angie on the phone. She would call me and she would say, there's a parent that wants to yell at you. I would say, oh, this is it. Let's go. And the parent would get on the phone and my body would be boiling up. And I want to yell back. And they're yelling at me, telling me I don't do things right and I don't help them right. And there's normally somebody that I was doing everything I could for and spending all my time trying to help and maybe doing it for free. And they're yelling at me as hard as they can yell at me. And I'm just sitting there with the pain. And there was the growth. He was threatening my reputation. He was telling me I don't know how to do anything. I was worried that he was going to tell other people. It was all there. So why am I insecure? Okay, I'm worried that he's going to tell other people I suck at what I do. I'm worried that he's going to ruin my business. I'm worried that I'm not going to have any more clients, yada, yada, yada. And as you grow, you realize, we got to go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to mention though, because like, I do feel like there is still growth, not the growth that you're talking about.
It's okay, yeah.
There is still growth, like with, for me, I knew that there was growth for me, like actually communicating with him.
Yes, okay. I believe in that. I believe that I believe we evolve as people. I believe we as growth. I will also say that there is no growth in boundaries. That's what I will say. Boundaries aren't growth. Boundaries limit growth. So anyone that needs to set boundaries, that's what they're saying is, I need to keep all the bad behavior away from me because it affects me negatively and I don't like how I feel inside. So I'm going to set these boundaries, and boundaries don't help growth. Boundaries keep you isolated, in a fence, locked down, and scared. And so people that need boundaries, they need, because they're scared people. And they want boundaries from the bad people. Also, people that say they have boundaries. Boundaries from what? When people say I need to set my boundaries, basically what they're saying is I behave perfectly and I got to set up my walls against the people who don't behave perfectly. I need boundaries. It's a very righteous position to set in, to say I need to set boundaries. That's pretty righteous. Now, if you're saying I'm not going to date men who cheat on me, pretty smart. But, I mean, you know, I don't want to go out and get abused. Yes, absolutely. You know, if my man takes his paycheck and blows it all at the casino, I got to set boundaries. Yeah, you shouldn't be with an idiot. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah. We got to get some questions from on here, Ange.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's open it up. We
People don't buy it. I know they don't buy it.
And
It's tough to buy.
questions out there. Here's your opportunity, please. You can use the raise your hand feature on your device. You can unmute yourself. You can say hi in the chat and say, I have a question, get my attention. I'm raising my hand here. So please, let's get any questions out there. Clear anything up.
I just want you to look at yourself, and I want you to remember all the times that you've been in life and went, I like him.
Mhm.
And just like, look at how smug we are. Like, look at how,
So true.
like, oh, it's like, and the person's supposed to be going, you like me? Oh God, all your years of wisdom, everything you know, you like me. And then look at how smug and shitty we are when we say we hate him. And look at how nice it is if we can just go, hey, dude, I accept you for who you are, bro. I accept you. You don't dazzle me and you don't make me so insecure that I hate you. We got a long life together and I'll reserve judgment for the end. Maybe watch you behave for a couple years and make a solid judgment. I've been on the end of people coming to me for help, but truly just wanting to prove that I'm wrong. They're not coming to me for help. They're coming to prove that I'm wrong and I'm bad.
Mhm.
And if they can prove that I'm wrong and they can prove that I'm bad, they don't have to listen. They don't have to change. Good for you. You came here and you proved I'm bad. And I know that from experience. I went to couples counselor to prove the guy's an idiot. I've done it. I go down there and prove how stupid he is. But in fact, he took my side on everything. And I was like, this guy's a genius. Now I'm wanting to go back. We got to go back to that dude. He's smart. He's telling us to read books that I've already read, that I've been telling her to read. So you should read this. I'm like, already read it. You should read it, honey. And I just told her like a week ago that she should read it. Smart counselor. I liked him. I like him. He made me feel so good. Yeah.
All right.
But it was, and then there's me and Ange. We're watching the Casey Kaylee. We know none of the information. It's from 2008. There's a whole jury. There's all these people, and we're like, she did it. He didn't do it. He did it. She didn't do it. He did it.
She's lying.
Like, yeah, we're sitting all of
She's
our places.
lying. And then all of a sudden, she's telling the
Did you see
truth.
her eyes move to the left when she talked? She's lying. Yeah. You know, all of our wisdom.
We had it figured out 10 different times.
Yes.
10 different
Yeah,
versions.
back and forth. Oh, the dad did it. She did it. What's the mom doing? I think she might have done it.
So crazy. We know nothing.
I don't like or dislike anyone in this room. I accept.
And you're so right in how you say that it's based on how we feel. It's literally based on how we feel.
Yeah.
So retarded.
Raising your hand, Nico.
All right. Carrie, are you trying to? Yes.
What?
Let's get you unmuted.
Okay, who we got?
Surprise.
Hey, Carrie.
Yeah.
So I just got to say that I moved to accept a whole lot of people right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said there then, you said you don't buy it. So why do you say that people, because I tell you what, just accept, you know, 'cause I gotta tell you, I got some grief with a couple people right now. And
Yeah.
so why do you say people don't buy it?
I say that the process, done once, done twice. If I know a human being has truly been visceral, upset, angry, shaking, or really, really frustrated or anything. Once you do it once, meaning you're sitting there and you're not allowing your brain or self, if you're not allowing the voice in your head to blame, and you crowbar kind of the voice back and reel it in and take the pain without blaming. And then you take in that pain even deeper and not vent and complain about the person. Not vent, not complain. Hold it in. Do not let it out. Have a person behave around you in a way that you don't like. Sit deeply with your muscle tension, with your heart rate, with the chemicals running through your body, and do not allow yourself to vent. Do not go complain to your friend, your neighbor, your acquaintance, anybody about the behavior of this person, because you truly believe that that behavior is just a light or just something that is shining on you to show you your insecurity. And you truly believe that the reason you're sitting there is because your body is shaky and insecure because it doesn't like something that's happening out in the world. And if you've done it once, it's like caviar and you can't stop eating it. And you will continue to do it. But you have to do it for the first time, truly. But our brains are so hardwired that when we don't feel good inside, to just blame and to pinpoint the source of our non-feeling good, then it is so difficult to stop this process of blame, that when I see someone truly do it and expand from that, I buy it, but it's tough. And we're talking about, this is Michael Singer stuff, by the way. This is Untethered Soul, chapter 9. This is like, this dude taught it all. So if you need to, I think it's 9, but he talks about having our shit hit and taking it. And this is, once done, this is the doorway to true getting rid of your insecurities, truly losing hatred. And I might kind of hate a football player that screws me on a play for a second, but it's not in my heart. It's not deep in there.
He can call them some serious names. Thanks, Carrie.
Yes.
We always love hearing from you. Always. All right. Anybody else out there? We've got 10 minutes left.
Yes.
But it comes back though, right? Because like I've seen it with you, where you have been out of your seat. So I'm like,
I haven't practiced this. I haven't done this practice in about 2 years. Truly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, truly. I haven't cared enough. Like I haven't got myself, my life is so comfortable with the people in it that now almost when I get upset and angry, I feel like somebody's behaving so shitty that I need to be upset. Truly. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying, and it doesn't cause me to hate the person. It just causes me to get upset. And it gets upset for a second. So, but I know that if I go start dealing with politics in Seattle and I have to stand in a room with people that don't agree with me, that this practice needs to come back right away, or I'm going to lose my shit in front of people and I'm going to blame and I'm going to leave angry and I'm going to vent and I'm going to do all this stuff. So the practice is still, it has to come back when you're put in new areas of insecurities.
Thank you. I just want.
Yeah, I haven't practiced. I used to practice every day, all day, and I haven't practiced this practice. And now when I'm upset, I blame a bit and go, this person's acting so crazy. I want to go yell at them or whatever. It's fine. But it took so much to get to this point where I'm not upset. I mean, now it's like once every week or once every 2 weeks that something happens. This used to be every day, all day. He's doing what? I'll be over there to yell in a second. He's doing what? I'll be over there to yell. What? What is the parent saying? There's eggs in my eggshells at the big house. Oh shit, let me call her and yell at her. I mean, everything. Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found it so crazy, just that someone can like me or dislike me. Someone can hate me. Hey, I'm a lot of things, but I deserve to be hated. Wow. What'd they see? Did I murder someone? What did I do? And then I find it just as crazy that I could hate someone else. It's crazy. I find it just crazy that I could learn to like somebody just because they agreed with me on politics. I leave the family reunion spent the whole time talking to the one guy that's a conservative. Really like that guy. Yeah. My rest of my family, shit. They're crazy.
So
ahead.
Can we grab it?
yeah. So I just know in the couple years that we've been with you, the growth and the maturity and the way you lead the conversation and you share and just the tone of your delivery has really matured. So do you find that you because you've been practicing for so long that you actually roll through this stage or the stages of this, it's almost become second nature to you?
I do get upset, but I no longer hate and resent, because although I'm not practicing to catch it in the moment, right? So I used to practice to catch it in the moment. And by catching it in the moment, I mean, if somebody was upsetting me, my body was getting upset and I was living in my body, feeling my body get upset before it got upset in order to not get upset. So in order to not be upset or show that I was upset, I used to take what was coming from the out of the world, and somebody would be saying something that I disagree with or somebody, and I would be like this inside my head. You're just insecure right now. Calm down, feel your body. That's just your muscles tightening. And that was what I was saying to myself while the person was talking or blaming me or yelling at me. I was inside my head going, okay, you're just insecure. Breathe, let your muscles relax. The adrenaline's going to roll through and it'll be okay. You're safe, Art. And I would be talking to myself like that while someone was challenging me, upset with me. That's where I'd be. Now I miss that opportunity all the time because I don't look for it anymore. So now I will get upset because my body fluctuated and somebody said something I don't like, and I will snap at someone or yell at someone. And then all the learning will come back and I'll go, you were just insecure right there, Art. You were fearful, whatever it was. And now I no longer resent that person. I no longer have any hatred. It just leaves. So then you're over it and you're just back, and it doesn't stick with you anymore. So I don't resent and I don't hate because of that, because of the knowledge that I've gained. And the practice is, that was really an adrenaline. It was really just a blood pressure practice. Basically, every time we hate, our blood pressure went high. Somebody made our blood pressure go up. That's it. So I just learned to monitor my own blood pressure when somebody was behaving a certain way. That's basically all it is. And if you learn to monitor your blood pressure, you learn to relax your muscles, the adrenaline and cortisol just kind of go through, and the experience, you sit with it and you just kind of thank the other human for kind of causing it. And it's like, that happened. And it was literally like a bottle rocket that would go through. So I would be upset and I would feel like a bottle rocket of adrenaline and cortisol go all the way through, and I could literally lean back from it and watch it shoot out of my body. And then I'd go, and I would wait, and I'd wait, and it'd take about 7 seconds, and then you just calm down and go, okay, I'm back. And then that was it. And I did that for about 2 years straight. And I was preventative, meaning I knew if I was going to be around a challenging person that this experience was going to happen. So I would be driving over to the big house going, okay, practice, practice, practice. I'd be taking a phone call going, okay, practice, practice, practice. And I'd be sitting in there like that.
flip side of anger? Like, can you explain it with, if it wasn't from an anger standpoint? I'm trying to like see, you know what I mean? I'm trying to.
Well, it's all just acceptance. You cannot be angry without being superior.
No, I know, I'm just saying, because like, I don't relate, I guess, to when you say the anger, well, I do in some ways, yeah. But, I'm trying to reflect on certain moments in my life, and I'm not relating to the feeling of anger, but I'm trying to picture what you know what I mean?
Well, fearful, shaky, scared, upset, all of it. Insecure, shaky. Let's stop saying we have insecurities. We have shakiness,
Sadness, I guess, would be, yeah.
hurt, pain, whatever it is. It's all the same. It's all resistance. This whole experience of insecurities, our insecurities will all be caused by resistance, muscles tightening, blood pressure pumping, all resistance, frustration, anger, everything is resistance. So your body is either in resistance or it's in acceptance. And it doesn't matter what flavor of resistance, annoyed, frustrated, hurt, upset, it's all the same. It's like that. I don't want to be like that. That's it. I want to be like, like that. And I like when somebody goes, when the best was when somebody be going, you're upsetting me. And I'd be like, I know. And then you go, but see, you can't upset me. You can't upset me. There's nothing you can do. Say whatever you're going to say, because I'm here monitoring my own body, making sure my blood pressure is not going to go high. You're not going to take my blood pressure if I'm already waiting for it. I'm going to be right there with it. Boom, my heart, boom. Every mistake and everything you've ever said wrong happened when your blood pressure was high. Everything you've ever done. Why you want to act when your blood pressure's high? Let's go to work. I'm telling you, see, that's the thing. You look for these opportunities. You have a coworker at work that you don't like, run to that person. You got somebody that you think you hate, be around them. That is the only way you grow. You want to get away from people you hate and you dislike? Okay, fine. You're just never going to grow.
Walk towards the fire.
Walk towards it. Get the heat. That's what the challenge is. I mean, we're talking about growth, hopefully.
So people are asking what the workshop is. The workshop is, so it's 11 to 4.
Yeah.
It's more of a deep dive into this stuff. So this is it's for family members. It's not for those in the program. So it's not for those in recovery there at the program. This is for family members and loved ones. And it's just a special event that we do. It's very limited seats. Like I said, it includes lunch. So it starts at 11, it goes to 4. We have lunch for everybody. It's a great time to really get to know the people too, but it's a deep dive into this stuff, into the practice, into the steps. Like you get little pieces of the pie at Solution Group. There's a big pie at workshop. So
I want to close real quick. And all I want to say is, I hope each one of us, and I hope you feel this, understand it from the same way. If you can really, really understand what I mean by saying you like somebody and saying you dislike somebody and the fickleness of that and how lame it is. And to say that you hate is even worse. And to say you love even when we say we love, and it just means, even if somebody on here says, I love art, I will watch the person that says I love art because I made them feel a certain way tonight. Well, I don't know if they're going to love me next week. Maybe there's a thin line between love and hate. Maybe I say something I dislike. Maybe I tell them I don't like masks or I don't like the vaccine. And all of a sudden now they don't love me anymore. And I'd rather just be accepted. I'd rather just be accepted by people. And I'd rather people are in a long-term commitment with me, and we got to ride it out. And we can kind of all agree to each other that we're going to do things we don't like and things we do like, and we're going to feel a certain way, but we're not going to blame each other for how we feel. And we're going to accept each other and stay in it. And we're going to grow with each other. We're going to put this relationship and our behavior out there as a way to get rid of our insecurities. So no matter what we do with each other and no matter what we say, we can sit comfortably. We don't have to be diseased or insecure. We can just sit around each other and speak. And none of us have to leave tonight offended. Because if I'm offended, I'm just righteous. And I'm too righteous to make any progress on my own life. And that's what's happening with people. They're too righteous and offended to make any progress towards love. They can't because they're too scared. And righteousness and offendedness and superiority, that's the opposite of connection. And we do that so we can run. We do that so we can leave the relationship. Be superior. Try to be angry without being better than the person you're angry with. And this really crazy thing that we think we're so smart and so great that we can judge whether people should be liked or disliked. Who gave us that right? And where did you get it from? This ability to judge and deem everyone. So maybe we should just be practicing getting rid of our insecurities and accepting some folks. And you can grow and get a bigger group of people, and you don't have to isolate. You don't need boundaries, and you don't need to protect yourself. And maybe one day you have your 80th birthday and there's about 1,000 people there that you kept in touch with and didn't have to say you didn't like them. You didn't have to be superior to. And you can say, man, all these people I stuck it out with, I accepted them and they accepted me, and we wrote it out. We did bullshit to each other, and we were all human, and we didn't like each other at points, and we liked each other at some points, but the whole time underneath was acceptance. Some days I go home and say, man, I don't like Chris. Some days I go home and say, I love Chris. But always underneath, I accept him. Always underneath, I can accept him. And it changes. Like and dislike changes from day to day. Oh, man. Came over and he built a deck for me. I like him. Broke my coffee pot. I don't like him. All right. Well, this is the last one of the year. I hope you get in your practice. And from now until New Year's, and we'll go live, first of the year or something. And hope to see you all.
We'll let everybody know exactly. We'll keep you posted. Make sure you're on the text reminder list. And by the way, there's registrations coming through for workshop, lots of them. So I'm not joking when I say it's going to sell out pretty quick. I'm wondering even if it will sell out in the next couple of days. So if you have any questions about the workshop, go to that link. It talks about it. It gives you more details. If you're considering thinking about going, you're going to want to register quick. They're very popular and we have limited seats. So I definitely want to clarify that we really mean that. We're not just saying that. So registrations are coming in, the emails are popping. So heads up, and a great couple weeks.
Documentary. Casey didn't do it. I think Casey didn't do it. I like her.
We'll see lots of you guys tomorrow night at group coaching as well. Looking forward to that. And we'll be in touch about the plans for the new year, and super stoked to see some of you for the workshop. So good night. Good night. Good night, everybody. Becky, I'll see you on Mom's group tomorrow. Good night.